Hello, all, and welcome to our new episode of CX Beats. And let's begin our deep dive into CX in the Gulf region. Hello, Mr. Waleed. Thank you so much for accepting our invite and joining us today's episode. We are really grateful to have you with us today, and I'm looking forward to our discussion.
Thank you. Thank you very much for the invitation. I really appreciate that. I'm excited too to have a discussion to really share what's happening in the Gulf region, especially in Saudi Arabia, from a CX perspective. And please feel free to discuss and let's, as they say, share all of this with all CX people who are excited as us.
Yes, thanks again for joining. So, in this episode, as you have already mentioned, we are diving headfirst into the world of CX in the Gulf region, exploring the unique strategies, culture, nuances, and cutting-edge technologies that have catapulted this region into the forefront of customer-centric excellence, I think. And I'm pretty happy to hear some industry insights from you, Mr. Waleed. So you have like a great career. You have worked on great positions in businesses across the banking, automobile verticals, and very, very different. You have obviously had a very impressive career and customer experience. So would you share a bit about your own experience in working with business across different industries in the region? And how has this journey shaped your insights into the evolving landscape of customer experience?
Sure. If I begin from the start, I had an experience at the beginning in the banking sector, which is the financial institutes through banking. The experience in banking is extremely high, especially the days that we started. I didn't start at a customer experience or a customer service. I was basically in the operation, and I had the chance to work in customer service after, let's say, 2 years, which the full 10 years were in the banking sector. So as they say, maybe 8 years were in the customer service. There were no customer experience at that time. It was customer service or customer care. This was the ultimate what any banking could do at that time. And there were also we could say call center, not contact center.
Mm-hmm.
It was a sector that receives calls to try to fix whatever it's done and whatever. There were no CRMs at that time. There were ticketing systems only.
Mm-hmm.
So basically, a ticket could be open and followed up through emails. Even there were no integrations, due to security and all of these. So it was a challenge, honestly. It was a challenge to fulfill customer sustainability and satisfaction at that time. But it was exciting because you had, experiences on a daily basis, what you need to do, how was that done, and how can you prevent that from happening again. So it was something going on all the time. From there, I moved to American Express, and honestly, I learned what is a customer from American Express. That institute changed the mindset for me personally, how to treat a customer. Because basically, American Express sells a service. So when you sell a service, it's totally different than you're selling a product. It's totally different than you're selling, let's say, a credit card or anything. No, they sell a service, and the service is always customers is always right. They had everything centered around the customer. So it was, and I stayed over there 8 years with them in the American Express International. I was one of the guys who were responsible to move all the customers because American Express was at the beginning in Bahrain. So Bahrain was serving Saudi Arabia. We were responsible to do the immigration and migrate all of these customers to Saudi Arabia and how to convince them that they need to come to Saudi. It's the regulations and how nothing happens and that nothing even while they're traveling, because some of them were premium customers, and they were traveling all the time. They were using the car, so no change could happen and improve and migrating that to Sama, and it was amazing challenge. At the same time, when I was in the banking sector, I was one of the people responsible for Y2K, the migrating from the 1999 to 2000. So everything changed to see the zeros and everything, as they were saying that it's the world will stop. Though no, it didn't stop. We're alive until now. So that was a great thing. We launched the premium sector, the Centurion Platinum, and there how you could really see that how the customers until now are calling me to get served from American Express. And I left American Express for more than 15 years now, or about 18. And this is why American Express is different. Then I moved to the retail business, automotive, with one of the big retailers here in Saudi. They're an agency for an American brand. I don't need to say it. Then they moved to a Japanese brand. I was responsible with them for the customer service, customer experience director for the group itself, because they had 6 agencies. It was not just one automotive agency. So I was responsible for the full group. Stayed with them 5 years. Amazing, a total different customer, a total different, as they say, segment. You're talking about retail, you're talking about something different, you're talking about a customer who could pay, as they say, his bread and butter for a car, which could cost him 200,000 riyals, and something could happen wrong. So the real moment of truth is when he received that car, and how continuously that continued, and how one of the initiatives, how can we move from a cost center to a profit center as a customer experience, and how we utilize the technology. This was the move, honestly, because I had a great CEO, I had a great board of member. They were really supporting. We used to work abroad from a contact center abroad, which were great. Then we moved it into about 60 agents, ladies and men, because we were serving about 6 agencies, some of them even only as a service center. Then I started my own business of 2016. I stayed until 2022. I sold my business. Then I said, okay, I want to retire, but I couldn't. I went back.
So passionate about customer experience.
Yeah. I couldn't, honestly. I couldn't. I tried. So I started my own brand, and now I'm here with you.
Yeah, great. Thanks a lot for sharing. Yeah. You obviously have great experience. This is a great part. I think I adore it. Thanks a lot. So you have mentioned several industries, and I have one question about it. Are there any specific industries that have been at the forefront of adopting innovative customer experience strategy, and what sets them apart from your personal experience?
Honestly, the financial and the banking sector, and they are at that time on a high scale. That to really, and because the customers were happy to see minimizing this face-to-face interaction to automotive, to automation. So that was really a high demand from going to a retail until at my time, the mindset was an e-commerce was too new. People were until now want to touch and feel what they want to buy, especially if it was a car. So they want to see it, they want to test drive it. There were not that initiatives that were there. It was only a selling, as they say, selling cycle to book a meeting in the branch. So not more than that. But in the banking sector, no, they were happy as soon as that you minimized all the hassle that a customer could face in fulfilling a request, not just fulfilling that a loan or giving him a loan or giving her a loan or a credit card or selling a product in the bank. No, we're minimizing that how can the customer really understand and get treated in a personalized way. That not just a premium, all the customers. One of the banks that I was working, they had a base more than 1.5 million customers in Saudi. So yeah, so it was really big, really big. So it was a challenge, but honestly, they were very supportive. I was lucky, honestly. I was lucky because I was in the trend of moving up, that everything was requesting. I was not in the trend that there was, any resistance from the management. No, they saw that, yes, in the banking, customer care was really important. In American Express, it's their, as they say, it's their religion. In American Express, customer is number one. In the retail business, I was lucky to have a CEO and a board of member that really invested, honestly, more than 5 to 6 million riyals in only the customer experience department over there. They spent it for 3 or 5 years with the people and initiatives. So for me, yes, I had that luck. Maybe some had that challenge, but and who's leading now? If we say now, from the difference from, let's say, 10, 15 years till now, the government is leading in customer experience. Now, they are pushing the market to follow them and where they reach, especially in the technology sector, especially here in Saudi. And you could see it in UAE, you could see it in Qatar, you could see it on the whole Gulf region. But in Saudi, especially after the vision had initiatives very clear that the citizen experience, the patient experience, the pilgrim experience, all of that was had a target from the beginning. His Highness Prince Mohammed bin Salman was very clear about it, was very clear when he announced it. So yes, the government, they were the leaders to really do this change for the past 10 years here in Saudi, from a customer experience perspective, especially in the technology sector.
So they are setting like the direction for all other industries, yeah?
Yes. Direction, as they say, challenges, regulation. They are monitoring everything from A to Z, especially from a technology perspective. The regulations that we have in the financial sector or retail sector, or even insurance, you just name it, medical, they are very tough, honestly. They are very tough. It's not easy to even open, as they say, a CR, and if you're not ready, they will really measure you from right and left to be sure that when you enter the market, you are ready, because the market has a lot of challenges. So this will not happen easily.
Yeah, I see. Thank you for sharing. And how do you think, what factors are driving the shift towards prioritizing customer experience in the region? I understood that the government set up regulations and etc. But why do people invest so much in customer experience now? Maybe because of some new technologies, COVID, some changes in digital communication. What are these factors? How do they?
Thank you. Great question. As you have said, from the beginning, it was the government. This is one that let's click on it. It was there from the vision that it was there. The second thing, from the days that King Abdullah started the initiative of taking boys and girls to study abroad, all of these, they came back with a new mindset. This mindset showed them that how around the world, the customer service, the customer care, and customer experience is different from a citizen perspective and even an investor perspective. So a lot of them, when they enter the market as a citizen or basically as a buyer, he or she would request for a better service. Of course, now they're comparing to an international. Immediately, their mindset would say, I was in the States, I was in Europe, I was in UK, I was anywhere around the world. This was the standard that I saw. We are very far. So they were pushing very heavily through the social media. Social media, especially at that day, it was Twitter, now it's X, that it was the voice of customer for all sectors. Immediately, anybody goes there, it was there. So this pushed technologies for listening tools to really come in the market very heavily. very heavily to be on the listening tools. This is one of the reasons. The second reason is that a lot of investors, the new generation who came from abroad, had that mindset that they knew that they need to provide good service, or they will not succeed. This was what yani, we have a lot of the top unicorns around here in the kingdom. They are the top in customer experience. It goes together. The last McKinsey report, it showed that 80% of the companies who are reaching to the unicorn are really depending on customer experience. So all of these are pushing for that area. They're pushing to reach that area. This is another reason. The last reason basically is that people are now seeing that Amazon is here, a lot of international companies as investors here, and they are providing the service which is totally different than who are in the market. So they are giving that, as they say, mix and challenge to all who are existing in the old market. So they need to improve because they knew that I need to be there. I need to give this service because the customer will come and say, you're not providing that service. You're not providing how Amazon does that, how this company, blah, 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 does it. And as you have mentioned, COVID really supported in that area because everyone for let's say about 6 to 8 months were in houses. Everything was ordered by a touch, either by a phone or either by a laptop or by iPad or a smart tool. It was done by a smart tool. So the user experience as it's under customer experience gave a lot of change and a lot of, you could see it, a lot of customers were going abroad to buy from international e-commerce and they were not utilizing something here in Saudi. So they knew that, okay, now we need to see how can we get all of these people here. It's trust. They need to trust you. They already know that, an example, this retailer or this hospital or this provider who are not providing for the past, but I could go now internationally through an iPad or through any smart tool and I could buy it and it's here easily. So this was really one of the reasons that supported. And as I told you, the opening of Saudi Arabia internationally with a lot of investors and even tourist people who come and visit Saudi, you will see that they have to have that level of, we need to, as they say, put ourselves in the chair of the visitor. When he visits Italy, when he visits any other country, how is he or she treated? But as an experience of a visit from the day that you think to, an example, just you think to take a visa to come here for a visit until that journey is closed. This is 100% one of the biggest improvements that we saw here in Saudi. You could see it. We are tripling on a number of visitors here to Saudi. You could see it month to month. Month to month, even summer is killing. Here in Saudi, honestly, you could see it. It's something so hot, but you see visitors. I honestly had a lot of friends. They say, no, I come here to Saudi. It's not the price. We are not, as they say, very cheap, but the quality of life that you see here. We are reaching there. We are not perfect until now. Yes, we are not perfect, but we are reaching now. But we are reaching by leaping big steps. So all of that mindset changes because we are interacting now. We are opening. How did I meet you? Through an interaction, through an international interaction. So you heard about Saudi because okay, 1 minute, there is something changing. There is an interest. So yes, and I hope to see you here in Saudi when you visit us. And honestly, if you plan to come and let's say after October, you will see some amazing things here in Saudi, especially the events. If you're looking for music events, we have a lot. If you're looking about sports, now sports, we are number one in the market. I don't see anybody else. Everyone is talking about us. We have it's not about the money we spent. It's the quality we brought. The quality we brought, we could see, a lot of things are changing. honestly, when I go to a match now, and I'm so excited that to see who's sitting beside me, a person from internationally with his family, and having fun with me seeing a soccer match or a football match. I didn't see it only in Spain at that time. On my ages, I had my wife, and I'm going to the soccer match, and we are in the court of as they say, of ultimate experience now, everywhere here in Seoul.
Yeah, I see. Thank you. And as you mentioned, everything is changing and businesses focus on customer experience due to different reasons. But what challenges have you noticed them facing and how they addressing these challenges? Because just to implement new ideas, new strategies is great, but there might be any difficulties.
Oh, yeah, 100% correct. There are challenges here. If I could see, if we see it from the market, there are not a lot of expertise in that field until now. We are building, we are reaching people, and we are reaching here in Saudi to have that expertise because we are just, as they say, junior or just little bit young in that field from people who had that experience. In the state, it was more than 80 to 60 years that the customer experience were initiatively introduced. In UK, not less than 60. And total Europe, you're talking about 50 to 40 years. So we just knew what is a customer experience and understanding from business perspective. It's not more than 7 years. Not more than 7 years. So we are just taking baby steps, but with leaps. We have a baby, but this baby, we're asking him to run. We're giving him technology, honestly. We're giving him everything, but he cannot speak until now. He's a baby. So this is what we see in the market. We have only few Saudis who understand the culture, who really do an amazing implementations, but they cannot do everything. So the good thing is that we have amazing people internationally coming here to support us and helping us to really improve. But as you are aware that customer experience doesn't happen in a month. It's not selling a product. It takes not less than 9 months until you see the outcome of it. I always, when I meet with my friends and our colleagues, and it's like labor. It's when you are pregnant until 9 months until you have labor. This is when you see that really you have a great experience in a child that you're raising. And when you have labor now, how can you raise it correctly? The 9 months are just building, are just waiting until you reach. Then from there, how you can raise it correctly. So it's a journey for life from here. The challenges also are here that people are starting to be a lot of demanding, especially from a private sector. So, and they need everything to be more automated. We here, the challenge is unfortunately, a lot of, as they say, investments from private sectors went to, as they say, unprofessional or incorrect way. They implemented, but they didn't know how to use it, or they didn't have the knowledge how to use it. It's amazing to have a great technology. I have visited a lot of people who I did some business with, and they have great technologies, but they don't have people who to use it. A lot of technologies in customer experience, it's utilized 20 to 30%. The remaining 70% is not utilized yet. It's untouched. So people are starting to know more, to understand more until now. So any technology which comes to the market here need to be very close to their customers. How you build that success story with them. It's a relationship. It's a relationship. It's not just, I sold you this and I'm number one in the market. Like a lot of technologies you could see are internationally, especially like CRMs or all of that. But they sell it. When you want to send something, send me a change notice. No, it's not a change. It's a relationship. You want me to talk about you. in the market. It's a marketing tool, especially in the B2B. If you want me to talk about you in the market, it means that you need to be sure that I utilize my needs correctly. Because what will happen? It's a bad system. Why it's a bad system? But you didn't know how to use it. This is why a lot of technologies honestly came to the market internationally, and until now they are suffering because they are not close. They are not close to who are the customers.
Yeah, I see. So talking about these technologies, digital transformation, in general, I think anyway it affects customer experience and it affects customer expectations actually, because they got, as you mentioned, they got used to this mobile stuff, online, e-commerce, etc. And how do you think, are there any industries who succeed in this digital transformation in the region?
In the region, like in the Gulf region, if we're talking,
Yes.
number one is the government.
Okay.
Number one. Yeah, number one is the government, honestly. Then the companies who are under the government, like PI and all of that. This is what I see. Yani, they are really understanding how to provide that experience from a technology and transformation. Moving from there, in Saudi, what I see is the medical sector. They are improving powerfully because the health sector, the health ministry have very tough regulations. Very tough regulations. It's not other than that. A lot of banking sector, honestly, not reaching to the level. Health is better, moving in a better direction. Food and beverage are having great experience. We have a lot of, now in that area, in the food and beverage, they are providing, especially in the delivery area. I think so. Nobody can reach that. Someone can deliver 1.2 per day. There are companies doing this here in Saudi. They are reaching. Yeah. So believe me, if you're doing this on a day, so your profit, let's say 1 riyal, you're getting 1.2 million per day riyal. This is powerful. This is powerful. So for this to happen, it means that you need to be connected everywhere. You can that experience, and people are honestly will not prevent themselves from complaining immediately. If this company didn't do, you could see it on Twitter or X now. This company is blah 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 blah, and so this is something helpful. A lot of, as I told, the teenagers and entrepreneurs in the technology sector helped this movement to be there. But health sector is number one for me personally. I have dealt with retail until now. As e-commerce, no. E-commerce, we have great e-commerce companies. But I'm saying as retail, the brick stores are a little bit until now. Suffering a lot. Real estate and are a little bit their movement. The movement is there. The government is pushing. Business, the usual business, the technology business are powerful here in Saudi. They are moving in a different level. That's the areas that I see that are really making that change.
Yeah, I see. Thank you. That's interesting. And speaking about technologies again, could you share some insights on how businesses are maintaining a balance between this technological advancement and maintaining a human touch? Because I believe chatbots are already there and sometimes breaking everything. So do they maintain this balance? How do they cope with it? What do you think about it?
Yeah, great. As usual, thank you for the question. Unfortunately, this is a weakness here in the market, especially in the retail business. No, in the medical, as I told you, it's getting better. But we didn't reach to something better until they did the test and they went through the journey and saw what the customer requested. I see that's wrong, because they needed to hear from a customer perspective before they invested in that area, which that's the correct way. But sometimes, management get excited and they want to implement it, and we know what the customer needs. So when they implement it, they get surprised that nobody's utilizing it. Complaints are coming. So yes, unfortunately, this is happening. But the good thing is that they are listening to their customer and doing the change. And really, if they invested a lot of money, they will immediately kill it. They are more than happy to kill it because the customer is complaining. So taking from that they are centered around the customer. That's something that I believe in, and I could see it, especially the new generation from business owners, because they are the new generation after a long of history from the old generation. So this movement is happening here powerfully. Yes, it's honestly a challenge, and I'm one of the people who is resisting that. And I am one of the people who met with a lot of business owners who after doing it, sitting with them and doing the assessment, I tell them, no, don't invest in that area because you're not ready. Because not ready, the readiness is that you don't need to have a system above a system, and you're not connected correctly. The human shop and personalization just dies from there. Yeah, an example, having a contact center and saying, I have an omni-channel of a contact center, and immediately when I go to the branch, they don't know that I called the contact center. This is the big problem. How can you say you have a contact center on omni-channel and you don't have it centered around me? So these are the challenges that I see, and I still tell everyone, start by doing customer service, then reach to customer care, then go to customer contact, customer experience. Don't jump to customer experience and you didn't even started customer care or started customer service. Some of them, they say, okay, I want to do it. No, don't do it. See, where do you stand? As one of my friends always say, exercise, build yourself correctly. When you are ready to take another dumbbell, as they say, and a big powerful dumbbell, take that second step. Don't do it and see the interaction with your customer. Don't do it by understanding all of that. No, see what the customer needs.
Yeah, wise approach.
Yeah.
Thank you. So finally, the last question from my side, how do you foresee the future of customer experience evolving in the region? Are there any trends on the horizon that you want to keep an eye on? Maybe you want to highlight something.
For me, what I see in the region, I think so there will be a huge, it will be a differentiator in the market from every sector, that anybody has the best or high customer satisfaction will be the best source of ROI. This is one. The secondly, it will be the best source of knowledge. So if this is what I see from what's happening in the market, especially when people are utilizing the AI and the chatbots and all the knowledge transformation and knowledge building. This is not happening by a simple movement. It's happening powerfully. I could see it especially in a lot of sectors, sitting with either in government or private sectors. When we sit together in a meeting or discuss, what's happening in the market, like a regular discussion, their mindset is totally different. They're moving 5 years. They're jumping 5 years from now, seeing themselves. How can they reach from as their first, as they say, order from their customer, that they want to be number one on their customer mind. An example, now every company, any event I went, which companies events, they announce, the first announcement they do, I have a customer satisfaction of blah, blah, blah.
Mhm.
This was not there. This was not there. 5 years from now, before, nobody was talking about that. I have good customer base. That's all. Now, every event, it's mentioned that I have this number of customer satisfaction. And if he was lying or she was lying, unfortunately, nobody will leave them here in the market. They will really kill them. So this is something totally different. It's number one now. It's a game changer.
Nice. Nice. Thank you so much for sharing your vision. Thank you so much for sharing insight. It was like a really pleasure to meet you today, and we hope you found today's discussion on VIX of the Gulf region very insightful. So thanks again for joining, and I hope to see you maybe somewhere in the future in some other new episodes of CNC.
It will be my pleasure. Anytime. Please feel free. Anybody from your side and who feels that would like to understand more about the Gulf region and how we can support them, we have open doors personally for me or from your side. Please, and thank you again for giving me the chance to share what's really happening here.
Yeah, thank you. So this is the end, guys. See you later. Take care. Bye.